trying to place your accent, and I think, where are you from originally?
I'm from. It's starting now, I take it. I'm from a little town in between Liverpool and Manchester. It's called Warrington.
Okay.
Obviously, it's not particularly well known. I don't think any of your viewers would know where it was.
Did you go to university around there?
No, basically I was there for a couple of years, for like the first 2 years of my life, and then because of job opportunities, we were going to move to Liverpool, and then something happened, and my dad ended up moving down. Well, not my dad. We all ended up moving down. The result of my dad getting a job to about 40 miles east of London. So that's probably why I've got a bit of a mixed accent.
That's more or less where I'm from.
Oh, really? Essex.
Essex?
I grew up, yeah, just
Which
outside
part?
Southend in Hadley, a tiny little town.
Okay. I grew up in Ilford.
Oh, really? Ah, okay. I'm a bit closer towards
Well, Redbridge, Gants Hill, but East London.
Yeah. Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Oh, yeah, very good. But so that's why I probably got like a mix of accents, because at home then obviously I heard everyone Bath class and headmaster and all that lot, and then outside at home obviously it's Essex. So I've got this weird
glottal
little
stops, estuary English.
Yeah, exactly, all of this. So and then I went and I studied up in Lancaster for a couple of years. Then I moved down to Brighton with my friends for about 5 years. Then up to Oxford where I did another degree, and then back to Essex. And so I've got a bit of a...
So, degree, what did you study?
Fine art.
Fine arts?
Yeah.
And did you work in fine arts? Have you always been teaching?
No. It was a little bit of serendipity, basically, the way it's worked out. Just because, so before I came here, then I was working down in Brighton with my friends. We all moved out trying to follow the rock and roll dream. We sort of went over there as a band, plus all our mates, to go and take over the world, kind of thing. I used to play the drums, and we thought we had massive visions of grandeur.
What sort of music did you play?
Indie rock, I guess. Yeah, kind of harmonic indie rock, I'll say.
And this was around the 80s?
No,
90s?
blimey, no. That would have been, I don't know. So if I'd have
After
been about
punk.
20, so I guess, yeah. It'd have been like, I was both about 98, 99, I guess, we moved down there. And so, yeah, this is the plan, but then obviously the sort of the day-to-day grind took over, and I just started working in offices instead, and sort of justified this existence that I hated by sort of at the same time thinking, no, but I know inside that I'm going to be a rock and roll star, and all this sort of rubbish, obviously, this sort of delusion.
But did you get gigs? Did you play?
Oh, yeah, we played them, and obviously we thought that we were very good, but I think we were just a bit lazy and rested on our laurels. We thought, well, we've got good songs, so people should come to us and discover us, but we realised that I think if you want to make it in any business, obviously, you need to, you've got to go out there and you've just got to sell yourself.
Did you have a manager?
No. We didn't even get that far. It was just literally just doing gigs and basically just be like our mates plus other hanger-ons and all that sort of stuff. And no, it was mainly, I think looking back, it was just a bit of a laugh with.
So what sort of office jobs? You said you were doing office jobs.
I worked in banks for about 3 years. I worked as like a personal assistant for a couple of years. Just generally sort of administrative, soulless work basically that I just hated, and it wasn't me in the slightest. And then one day I sort of woke up and had a little bit of a revelation and just thought, I need to get out of this life because it's not good. So then I went to university. So I went to university when I was 25, I think. Mm-hmm. So a little bit of a late bloomer, but I wasn't really ready when I was younger. I don't think I was mature enough.
So how did you get into teaching?
Oh yeah, that was the purpose, wasn't it?
I'm going to start my cake. I'm sorry.
Okay, no, go for your life.
Help yourself. Tell us about teaching.
So I finished my degree. I thought, right, what can I do to try and sort of keep my hand in the degree? So while I was doing my degree, I went over and did an Erasmus year in the Bauhaus in Germany, and this was fantastic. Just being there, walking around the same streets and drinking in the same pub where Itten, one of like a hero of mine, used to sort of sit there, maybe designed his colour principles and things like that. It's just really inspiring. And while I was there, then I was living with some Spanish people. Had a Spanish girlfriend, just hung around with lots of Spanish people, and just basically just started learning Spanish and fell in love with Spanish culture.
Well, what came first, teaching or your love for Spain?
So while I was finishing my degree, I was thinking, okay, I know that I want to go to Spain. I had like a Spanish girlfriend, and I was thinking it's all leading towards this, to something different. And maybe doing some kind of creative work over there. And so I was looking for jobs in video editing over in Spain. There's like a new studios that just opened up outside Alicante, so I was looking for there. I was sort of applying for work and things like that. And I thought, right, okay, I finished university, I'm going to save up some money. I did a load of factory jobs and all this sort of stuff just to work out just to work until I had enough money to pay to live here for a couple of months. And then just before I came, I suddenly had the brainwave, hold up, if it doesn't work out, I need something to fall back on. So I came and did a CELTA, first thing over here. It was the first thing I did. Did the CELTA, loved it, started teaching straight away and just fell in love with teaching instantly, basically.
Wow, that's interesting. So you haven't been teaching that long?
No, my mum was a teacher, my uncle was a teacher, and so when I was at college, then I wanted to be a teacher. But then, like I say, I sort of went off and did this sort of follow this rock and roll route for 7 or 8 years, and so that kind of took me away from that, and then went to art college, obviously, and that sort of took me away. So when it came back, it's something that obviously I thought about when I was younger. I had some experience like a teaching assistant in a primary school. So it wasn't like a million miles away, but when it came, it was a surprise, and I just loved it and stuck with it, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you like most about teaching?
The people, just meeting different people, meeting interesting people every day. No 2 days are the same. Everything depends completely on you can have anything planned, and you can walk into the classroom and it can completely change now, obviously, as you know. And so I love this. I love the fact that you're always switched on when you're in the classroom. You've got to be completely aware. Your mind's never wandering. You're always aware and focused.
What do you dislike about it?
The administration, basically the admin, the writing reports, the paperwork. It's not a major hatred. It's just the fact that I know it comes with the part and parcel of the job, but
yeah.
I would prefer not to have to do it. I know what's going on in my head. I've got it all organised. I know what the kids are like and all that sort of stuff, but I know obviously I need to then.
Do you prefer teaching kids or adults?
I prefer to have as much variety as possible. Just sort of keep it interesting. I teach, at the moment I teach a lot of private adult classes, teach business classes, large groups of adults is fantastic, obviously, because you can get
That's
them
my
talking.
favourite.
Yeah, you just, I don't know.
Yeah. Because they're motivated usually, and you don't have to be a policeman in the classroom.
Yeah, no,
you can
exactly.
just go with their motivation.
They're paying to do it. They've got this, and they're doing it for a reason. They know why they're doing it. They haven't been sent by their parents being here.
So do you see your near future here? Any plans to move elsewhere?
Yeah.
I mean, for a while.
I think the most important thing is to be open to the change, to anything that comes along. Basically, I've just started. I've been going out with a Spanish girl for about 8 or 9 months now, and I'm falling in love with her, and everything's hunky dory. Basically, job's going well. Valencia, I love Valencia. I love my girlfriend. I'm just if something happens, I'm open to change. But at the end of the day, I'll see what happens when it does.
What's been your most memorable moment in the classroom?
In the first year, I think the first couple of years, they're all memorable, aren't they? Because you're just learning so much. Everything is new. You've got new classes, new levels. So in my first year, it was just, I suppose, obviously there's lots of heartwarming moments, but I'll talk about a couple of the weirdest moments. When my first class happened, finished the CELTA course, which is obviously learning how to teach adults, and my first class was 4 and 5 year olds, and I had no experience.
It's a different thing. I mean, I've taught children. It's a completely different methodology.
And I had nothing. Basically, and so on the first day, like my boss said to me, "Have you met Norton?" And Norton, who's this? Like, is this another teacher or whatever? And Norton was a toy parrot that I was meant to use to turn the pages in the book, and I was just thinking, what am I doing here? If my friends could see me now. There's another one.
Did you keep on with Norton through the term, or did you put him in a box?
Norton came out from time to time, and as soon as Norton came out, the kids would just want to try and pull his eyes out, and all that. Poor Norton got.
That's your lovely 7-year-old.
Yeah, exactly. Like 4 and 5 year olds these were. So
okay.
Poor Norton, after being abused for several months, just got put back in the box. There's other times when I remember, because obviously on the CELTA course you learn all these mingle exercises and things like that. When we were doing one of those with these 10-year-olds, 10 and 11-year-olds, and I remember I was listening and identifying errors and putting them on the board so we could look at them afterwards, treating it as if they were an adult class, obviously. And as I was writing something on the board, I turned around and there was this little 10-year-old girl lying on the floor doing snow angels on the floor in the middle of the class, and I was just, what do I do? And I chose to just ignore her. I just stepped over her and carried on listening to other class, and it turns out it was the right thing to do because she just stood back up, didn't get any attention. Yeah, exactly. But I'd say the worst one, I'm sorry, I'm going to get this one out, was when I learnt that you can never lose your temper. You can never get angry. As soon as you get angry with kids, then you've lost basically. One time, before I realised this, obviously, I came to the point I was trying to say to them, right, okay, I'm gonna have a chat with them today. So I walked in, slammed their books on the table. I was like, right, this is all in Spanish. This was. This is the worst class that I've got. I teach all these different students, and you're the worst of the lot. This rant went on for like about 5 or so minutes or something like that. And at the end, I was building up to this new word. I just learned how to say I'm fed up in Spanish. And so I slammed the books and I said again on the desk and I said, "Estoy completamente harta." And the kids just went, "Pa, Rich es una chica." I was like, oh, okay, fair enough. And that was the moment I realised you need to. Prevention is better than cure. No, if you make the classes interesting, if you make them fun, then you don't lose them, and you don't have to lose your rag.
Okay, so I mean, you said you teach here, you teach, and you got private lessons. What do you do when you're not teaching? What do you do with your time?
I love cooking, and I love eating good food. That's my primary love. I love cooking for my girlfriend. I love having her cook for me. Mm-hmm. I love just sharing good food with her. And I love watching football. I like painting. I like playing my guitar.
You still play?
Yes, what, the guitar?
Music. You still create?
Yes, yeah. It's unfortunate because I can't have a drum kit here, so I'm saving up for an electric drum kit because obviously it's flat friendly. No, but
would you consider joining a band here?
Playing the drums?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah, definitely. Why are you?
I'm not a musician, no. But if anyone's watching,
okay.
If anyone's watching, like to hook up in the Valencia area?
Yeah, exactly. That'd be funny, just something to pass the time, just have a bit of fun, basically, nothing too serious.
Okay.
We'll
put it out there.
Be a crack, why not? Exactly.
Rich, what advice would you give Spanish speakers who are trying to learn English?
Don't be afraid to make mistakes. I'd say it's better to try and fail than to not try at all. I don't know who said that, but I'm stealing it. And don't worry about what other people think. Basically, you've got to talk, you've got to communicate, and it's the communication expression that's more important.
That's a common problem in my conversation classes, that they've studied grammar, they've got wide vocabulary, but there's that shyness there, that feeling that as if they open their mouth and a mistake comes out, it's the end of the world. Well, it isn't.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's good advice. So no inhibitions, get out there, start speaking and communicating in English.
Practice. There's no point having all this information, and you can't talk with a book. You can't walk around the streets writing little notes in your notebook and all that sort of stuff. You've got to do it. No?
So can you talk a little bit about what you hope to do in the future? You said you're happy here, life's good at the moment. Do you see yourself staying in teaching? Would you like to go into management, materials development, teacher training?
I'd say, like I say, I'm not much of a planner, I have to say. I'm very much, I think if you spend too much time thinking about the future, you don't enjoy what you've got. And life is very good at the moment. I'm very happy. I've just finished a diploma, so I'm going to see how that...
You're going to have a rest over the summer, presumably.
Yeah, exactly. I want to try and incorporate all the new things that I've learned into my teaching. I want to see, like I say, I'm falling deeper in love with a beautiful lady, and I want to see where that goes. And like I say, I'm happy with Valencia. Mm-hmm. It's just a question of, okay, if something I'm open and ready for it, but I'm not in any rush to change anything right now.
If you could change something about yourself, what would you change?
Okay, let me see. I believe that, if you... I'm sorry, I did think about this before. If you plant 2 seeds in the ground, either side of a brick wall, basically, and you've got one that's got perfect sunlight and perfect conditions, perfect soil, then it's going to grow exactly as it was genetically programmed to grow. No? If on the other side of the wall you plant it, the soil isn't so fertile, so the roots have got to grow a little bit further, which sort of stunts the growth of the tree, the plant. Maybe it doesn't get direct sunlight, so it has to sort of twist and turn to reach the sunlight. Maybe the wind's blowing it, so it has to kind of bend itself to brace against the wind. And I think the twists and the contortions and the defects in the plant is what makes it beautiful. No, what makes it interesting, that makes it individual. And I think it's the same for us, basically. I've got things that I need to work on, but I don't know. I'm happy with them because they make me me, no? And so.
As well, I used to go out with a girl, American girl, and I used to get very annoyed when I bought something new, and it would get scratched or damaged or chipped. And she always used to say to me, "That's what gives it character. Now that it's got that scratch or that chip, It's got history.
Yeah.
It's a similar analogy.
Exactly.
It's very, very true.
We're animals, no? We've got animal urges, animal desires.
Nobody's
but
perfect.
we live. No, exactly. We live in this kind of civilized society, but at the end of the day, we're sort of monkeys in suits, and I think you have to embrace that and deal
Monkeys
with it.
in suits.
Yeah, more or less, no, that's what we are. And you just gotta be a good person, treat other people how you want to be treated yourself.
Yeah.
Try and be a better person the next day. But I think it's quite sad if you sort of look at yourself and think, oh no. I know I'm short, I'm not the best looking, but
You're a very positive person.
well, I think there's all that one can do, no?
Finally, if you had €6,000 to spend on yourself, what would you buy?
I reckon I would take myself and my young lady friend to Japan for a month or something like that, because it's somewhere we both love to go.
What attracts you to Japan?
The culture, the spirit, the people. I practice Japanese archery. It's this like Zen practice. So I'd love to go and go to a proper Japanese dojo and shoot a few arrows there and just sort of soak up the ambience. Yeah, and the food. I love the food. So, and because it's just such a long, varied country, to sort of go up north and sort of explore the countryside and then come down and see the crazy metropolis that is Tokyo. Love to sort of sit in a thermal bath and the kind of, you know, when you got this I've got this really romantic vision of just like the tatami floors and the little paper screen doors and things like that.
And great sushi.
Yeah, exactly. This is it. This is what I want. Just in a dream.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I didn't know if it was, you can start.
Try a cake, just to sort of like.
You managed to resist. I'm nearly finished.
I'm just gassing too much. But then obviously the sort of the day-to-day grind took over and I just started working. University. So I went to university when I was 25, I think. So a little bit of a late bloomer, but if it doesn't work out, I need something to fall back on. So I came and did a CELTA. But when it came, it was a surprise, and I just loved it and stuck with it basically. It's not a major hatred, it's just the fact that I know it comes with the part and parcel of the job, but I would